Hello. Welcome back to my live today. I am super excited to be back with you guys. I know it's been like a little bit a few weeks since I've been on, but guys, I have had a lot of transitions in my life, so we are here. I remember when I first told you guys, one of the big things that just happened for me is my son went to college. And so I had a lot of reshifting things and changing things that happened. And so, guys, I'm back. I'm back. And so I'm super excited to be here with you guys to share real estate tips with you. I had to change the day because, again, my son's in college, so we have to accommodate those dates. So now we are going to be on Thursdays at 7:45 p.m. I apologize for even being tardy today. I know I'm a little bit late, but thank you for joining in. We are going to talk about the 7 buyer mistakes that buyers make, okay? We're going to talk about the 7 mistakes that buyers could potentially make that will cause their closings to be delayed. You don't want to be one of those buyers, okay? So here we are today. I'm here to prepare you guys. You are here. So welcome back to the closing table with me, Angie White. And I am a realtor with Century 21 Results Ocean, and I am licensed in the state of Florida and Georgia. I currently reside in Florida, so I currently reside in Georgia, so I mostly operate in the state of Georgia with all of my deals, but I do still do deals in Florida. And so every Thursday we'll be here with a conversation about real estate to help you and make sure that you're making informed decisions when it comes to your real estate needs, okay? I want to make sure that you guys aren't out there making emotional decisions, that you're not out there making rash decisions, that you guys are making the right decisions for your real estate needs, okay? So that is what we're here to talk about on today. Thank you for joining me on TikTok. Thank you for joining me on Facebook. Thank you, guys. And don't forget that you can always catch my tips on replay on YouTube at It's Angie White, or you can catch it on Facebook for as long as it's not deleted, okay, guys? Because sometimes they be deleting stuff, okay? So it'll be on Facebook at It's Angie White, and you can also catch me on YouTube at It's Angie White for the replay, okay? So let's get into it. If you're buying or selling or thinking about it, if it's something that's been on your mind, something you've been wanting to do, you've been a little hesitant to do, if you're buying or selling, tonight, this conversation is for those who are buyers, okay? But you can reach out to me if you're a seller. I'm happy to help you, okay? So I want to make sure that the buyers get into this unstressed. I want to remove every bit of stress from the situation when it comes to buying or selling real estate, okay? And how we're going to do that is we're going to talk about the 7 mistakes, the 7 most common mistakes that buyers make when they are purchasing a home, or what that could cause them to delay their closing. That's one, or they could actually not close at all. So imagine this: you found your dream home. You've got an offer that you put out there. The offer has been accepted. You started packing your boxes. You're ready to go, and you told your family you're moving, and maybe you've even scheduled movers. You've got all this money out there. You put your earnest deposit out there. You've done all the things. You arranged time off of work to get it done and close on time on the date that you're scheduled. Imagine this: you're home. You got your home. You've been offer accepted, packed your bags, told your family, and you got the mover scheduled. You arranged everything. You've already got the bills ready to be transferred over. So then something happens. What could possibly happen to cause that delay at that point? This is what we're going to talk about. Suddenly you get a phone call from the lender or from your realtor, and you're going to have to delay your closing. What if that comes up? So I'm here to talk about that. One phone call can affect your moving plans. It can affect your finances. It can affect your work schedule, and sometimes even your ability to purchase the home at all. And so what I want to do is make sure you're not one of those buyers that ever have to go through that ever, okay? If you're watching this video, you have me on your side to help you through your process, okay? So let's get into it. So this is the seven of the biggest mistakes that can delay your closing and how to avoid them, okay? If you're watching, let me know where you're watching from. I'm looking at the comments. Go ahead and let me know where you're watching from and put that in the comments. And also, if you're looking to be a buyer or a seller, you can put that in the comments. Also, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop those in the comments. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have as I go through this, okay? And so, point number 1. Don't make major purchases while you're under contract. So that's one of the biggest mistakes that buyers do. So, you got your house under contract. You decided at home, I'm going to buy all new furniture for the house, right? And so the furniture costing you an upwards of $1,000 to $5,000, depending on what kind of person you are, what kind of furniture you like. It's costing you money, right? And so some people, what they do is they put that on their credit card. Some people like to spend that money out of their bank account. But guess what? You don't want to be making any major purchases while you're under contract. You know what? Another thing a buyer may like to do, I'm getting a house, okay? So why don't I just go ahead and purchase the car to go along with the new house I'm getting? You're under contract. You don't want to do any of those things. So you're excited. I understand. And people start thinking, you start dreaming bigger. I need a new couch. I need a new bedroom set. I need a new car. Let's buy a refrigerator. Let's get the washer and dryer. Let's have everything together. We're going to go in this house fully prepared. It's not time. Your offer has been accepted. You're under contract. It's not time for that. Why? Because if you are working with the lender's watching your bank statements. Okay, the lender's looking at things like what you're doing, your activity with your bank statements. You want to make sure that you do not have any large purchases that you have to end up explaining away when it comes to closing your home, because you're going to have to explain your purchases for the last 3 months or so. So you want to make sure you have everything in order when it comes to that. Okay, so you don't want to make your lenders have to check what you're doing, check your credit again, and then your credits change because you decided I'm gonna take out a line of credit and get all my new mattresses with the mattress company, and I'm gonna take out a new line of credit, and then boom, it shows up on your credit, and suddenly you don't qualify for the home. You don't want that to be you. So that is point number 1. When you're working with a lender, a large purchase can increase your debt to income ratio, and that can affect your loan approval, okay? So you're only conditionally approved. You're only pre-approved. You don't really get the full approval until you actually close on the home. So everything is conditional until the close, okay? So it's upon the condition that you're currently in. You don't want to change the state of your finances at that moment in time, okay? You don't want to do that. My advice for you, if you want to purchase all new furniture, you want a new car, you want to do all that, get the keys in hand, finish that closing day, and get that house, and then do everything you want to do. Okay? Go out there and dream big, but wait until you purchase the home first. Okay? All right. Point number 2, don't change jobs. Okay? So, one thing that I've realized that, life happens, so what you want to do is you want to remain as stable as possible when you're under contract. Your offer is accepted. You don't want to change jobs. Even a promotion may sound wonderful. A new opportunity may sound wonderful. You got an opportunity to get a job that's going to pay you maybe $10K more, $50K more. You're like, hey, I want to jump on that. No, if you're under contract and you're waiting to purchase a house, you want to make sure you set that to after you close on a home, okay? You want to wait that out, guys. It's very important you don't change your financial status after you've been pre-approved and you're under contract and the lender is in agreement with you, okay? You don't want to change that. So, yes, the new opportunity is exciting, but changing employers or changing from a W-2 position to self-employment, all of those can require a lender to reevaluate your whole entire financial status and reevaluate if you qualify for your loan. You want to remain qualified for your loan, okay? So that's what I want to make sure I'm getting at. It simply means that you're going to have to need more documentation. You're going to have to explain things away. You're going to have to write letters of explanation for this thing and that thing and what happened here and what happened there. You don't want to have to go through that process and then get disqualified from being approved for the loan. This will delay your closing, okay? If a job change is necessary, and it becomes necessary, make sure you talk to the lender, okay? Don't just go off and do anything. Talk to your agent, talk to the lender. But in that way, you can actually, work things out in advance before you make the change, okay? You don't want to be making changes in the midst of your loan and your lender is unaware, okay? Or your agent is unaware. You don't want to make that mistake. That's point number 2. Point number 3, don't make a large cash deposits, okay? So what I mean by that, so here's one thing that could happen. So a lot of people can be surprised when their family members, they hear about you wanting to purchase a home. They'll give you large cash deposit, or maybe you are one of those people that didn't keep all your funds in the bank. I've had one of those before. They didn't keep all of their money in the bank. A lot of their money was in a safe at home. And so they didn't want any of their money in the bank. So they decided to put a large deposit of money in their account, and it delayed their closing. Luckily, they had me, who was willing to go to bat for them, and I was able to get that explained away, but the closing was delayed for a while. Okay, so you don't want that to be one of the reasons why your closing get delayed. She could have possibly been, my client would have possibly been disqualified from the loan if I didn't make sure we had everything just in order at that moment. So you don't want to make large cash deposits in your bank accounts, okay? A family member may want to give you money. You're going to have to be able to explain that away. Maybe you sold your car or an old car, or you're selling things around the house for cash during the process. You want to make large deposits. You're going to need receipts for that. You're going to have to explain that to the lender. So mortgage lenders have to verify where funds come from and how you got it. So you want to make sure that you're not doing anything to make it seem as though, hey, I've been doing God knows what, and I can't explain it away. I can't tell you how I got it. You want to make sure you have receipts. You want to make sure that you have a solution. So the solution to that is talk to the lender. And before moving money, before accepting large deposits, things like that, you want to talk to the lender so that make sure you have all your proper documentation and everything in order when it comes to the loan, okay? So that is very, 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 very important, okay? So point number 4, a lot of buyers tend to get busy during the closing process, so you forget to respond quickly. Okay, what do I mean by that? So number 4, respond quickly, okay? Why do I say that? You don't want to ignore emails from your lender. You don't want to ignore emails from your agent. You don't want to ignore phone calls. You don't want to ignore any of those things. You want to make sure that you are very much so in contact with them directly. Also that they can contact you at any point in time, or if you can respond to them as quickly as possible, like within the hour or two. Because the loan process, the lending process, the closing process, it can change within an hour or two. Something can come up. So you don't want to be one of those that miss out on the closing of your home because something came up and you missed it and you weren't responding. You took 2 days to respond to the lender, or you took 5 days to submit your bank statement when the lender required it 5 days ago. You know, you want to make sure you got all of your documents in. So if they're asking you for something, you want to get it to them as soon as possible. You want to respond as quickly as possible. Make sure that you are doing the best you can to get the lender every document they ask for. Even if it's something you don't know how to do or it doesn't make sense, you make sure you talk to your agent. Let your agent walk you through that process, okay? Let the lender even give you explanations or examples of how else you can do it. Hi, Pastor Jay. Thank you for joining. And thank you guys again on TikTok for joining in. I love it. I love all the engagement. But yes, you want to make sure that you are getting all of your letters of explanation in, your pay stubs, everything in a timely manner, okay? Make sure you're doing what you have to do. So number 4, respond quickly. that if you don't respond quickly, every day you wait is another day your loan may be delayed. So remember that. Every day you wait is another day your loan may be delayed. So one of the easiest ways to keep your closing on schedule is responding quickly. Okay? Now that's number 4. Number 5, protect your credit. You want to make sure that you're protecting your credit. Okay, what do I mean by that? Continue managing your finances wisely. Continue paying all of your bills on time. Don't miss any payments at this point in juncture. You don't want to miss anything. No, don't max out your credit card. It's not time for that. No, you don't want to do that. Don't open unnecessary accounts. Don't try to, you know how I've seen it where someone got a letter in the mail. And if I open up this bank account, they're going to give me $400 to open up this bank account. I don't know how many of y'all ever got that letter mail, but I've gotten those letters in the mail over the years. And I mean, a lot of people be like, okay, I'm going to open up this account. It's going to be $400 extra in my account. I'll be able to use that to maybe help me with the closing costs or maybe help me with the down payment or whatever I need help with, you know. And then all of a sudden you open up that account. They mess with your credit. They check your credit. They run your credit to do it. Then all of a sudden your credit is no longer protected. You want to make sure you're protecting your credit. I'm not saying lock your account. I'm not saying lock your credit account. I'm telling you to make sure you're not doing anything that would affect your credit. Be responsible in this time. Be wise and steward well your credit at this point in juncture in the loan process. You're under contract. You're waiting to get to the closing day. You got 15 more days left. You don't want to open up a new account. You don't want to max out your credit card trying to buy new towel sets. You know, and I understand the need for a new towel sets. I mean, you're moving into a new home, but wait till you close on the home first, okay? Point number 6, inspection and appraisal issues. Okay, so a lot of buyers can make mistakes during that time, during the process of inspection and appraisal, okay? So you want to make sure that sometimes that you understand that your agent is needs to be like your best friend right here in this time. When it comes to your inspection, you want to make sure you're getting directly with your agent in regards to that. Like, you know, what can I do? How can I do this? And how can I do that? Because when it comes to inspection, you can cause a delay by asking for too much because you saw this, that, and the other on your inspection. You can cause a delay by not negotiating well when it comes to the inspection. So some delays have nothing to do with you even, okay? But you don't want it to be you, right? So a thing is, you want to make sure you're being as compliant as possible. You want to make sure you're being as available as possible, but maybe not, you know, too picky or too particular when it comes to certain things. Because if it's a cosmetic issue, that might be something you want to take care of on your own and not be making the seller take care of it, and that causes them to delay closing because they got to take care of your list of 20 things before we close. That you don't want that to be the case for you. That's not something you should be desiring, okay? So maybe the appraisal comes in lower than expected. So allow negotiations to take place quickly when it comes to that. What happens is, in that instance, your appraisal comes in lower, or you got a lot of repairs that you're requesting for inspection. From the inspection report. What happens with that is you want to make sure you're responding quickly to your agent and you guys are getting those responses over to the seller and the seller representative as quickly as possible, which is the listing agent, okay? You want to make sure you're getting them all that information over as quickly as possible so that you're not the cause of the delay. Now, can sellers be the cause of the delay? Yes, that is true. They can be the cause of delay, okay? So you don't want that to be your case, okay? So make sure you're doing all you can. This is exactly why you have an experienced realtor, me, or whoever you're deciding to use. Make sure you have an experienced realtor to help you. Our job is to help you navigate those conversations, navigate solutions, and keep the transaction moving, okay? We want to keep it moving forward. Okay, final thought. Okay, final point. Point number one, you don't want to make a mistake during final walkthrough, right? So a lot of people tend to skip certain things like a final walkthrough. The final mistake would involve your final walkthrough. This walkthrough is the opportunity for you to see the home again, all right? This isn't the opportunity for you to re-inspect the home. It's the opportunity to just to go over, to do an overview of what you're purchasing. This is your final time to see the home before you purchase it. You don't want to skip that. But you do want to make sure the agreed upon repairs are completed. You want to make sure that is done. And that the home is substantially the same condition that you saw it in when you decided to purchase it. So you want to make sure it's in the same condition as much as possible as when you saw it in. But remember, you got to be, we have to be also considering that time, because those people are either moving out of the home if the home is not vacant. So the home may be in disarray. But with with those final walkthroughs, I always try to negotiate for the seller to be out of the home on that day, or mostly packed and ready for you to come view the home, okay? So you want to make sure you're understanding and being considerate even during that time, okay? The items in the home that were included in the contract, we're going to make sure all those things are there. That is what the final walkthroughs were. We're not going to go in there. We're not going to say, oh, I forgot to tell you. I've decided I want them to fix this. Oh, no. Final walkthrough is the day before closing. There's no way and there's no time to get that fixed. There's only time to make sure that only what we've agreed upon has been repaired, okay? So if something isn't right, it's much easier to address it before documents are signed. If it's one of those three things where the agreed upon repairs were not completed, we can address that. The home was not in the same condition that you saw it in when you tried to purchase it. So that is something we would discuss. And to make sure that items are still in the house that you decided to have, like the appliances that you negotiated, the refrigerator, the washer, the dryer. Say you negotiated all those things and then they weren't there. You want to make sure those will be in the home at the time of signing. So those are the only things that we want to make sure we are addressing when it comes to the final walkthrough. Don't skip your final walkthrough, but attend it, get all that you desire to get, and make sure you got it. And that's what the Realtor is there to help you with, okay? So those are my 7 points for buyers so that you do not make these mistakes that cause delay in your closing, okay? The biggest takeaway tonight is getting under contract is exciting, but getting to the closing table takes teamwork. So make sure you're working with your lender, make sure you're working with your realtor and the closing attorney or the title company, the seller, as well as everyone else. Everyone plays a role in this part. Okay, so you're under contract. Work together. We're going to work together and make this process as smooth as possible. The smoother everyone communicates and follows the process, the smoother your closing will be. Okay, so buying a home is one of the biggest. It is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll make. But the goal is just to make sure that you stay under contract once you get there, okay? The goal is to get to the closing table so that you can actually have the keys in hand when it's time to go, okay? So you want to make sure you leave with the keys, okay? That's something I'm gonna do. I should do a shirt. Make sure you leave with the keys, okay? So it was great talking with you guys today. It was great speaking with you guys with the 7 points. Let me go over them one more time so you remember. Point number 1 is don't make major purchases. Point number 2, don't change jobs. Point number 3, don't make large cash deposit. Point number 4, respond quickly, okay? And point number 5, protect your credit, okay? Point number 6 is make sure you're attending your inspection and understanding your appraisal, okay? And you use your lender for that. Point number 7 is attend your final walkthrough, okay? Those are my 7 points for you buyers today. We want to make sure you get to the closing table, okay? So if you're thinking about buying or selling in the state of Georgia or Florida, I love the opportunity to help you through your process, to help you get to the closing table. Feel free to send me a message or give me a call. Even if you're just starting to explore your options, I'm happy to assist you. I have some great news. I am working with 2 amazing lenders right now that are offering 100% financing, which means that there will be no down payment if you qualify for that loan. So they have 2 different options available. One is 100% financing with FHA, 100% financing with conventional. So there are options out there for you guys. And you know what? When it comes to the rest, it's my job to negotiate the closing costs, okay? So let me help you get to the closing table. So I'll see you guys next week on Thursday at 7:45 p.m. Guys, I'm holding me to it. I gotta be on time next week, okay? I'm gonna hold me to it, okay? So I'll be on time next week. So I will see you guys next week. Don't forget your 7 tips and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Let me know. Go back and watch the replay on YouTube at It's Angie White, or you can watch it on Facebook. Again, It's Angie White. You can type that in and you'll be able to find me. Okay, so I'm super excited to be here with you guys, and I'll see you on Thursday at 7:45 p.m. Okay, love you guys. Bye.